Hey yo, what's up, it's Aegis Rick here, bringing you the update brought to us on the 18th of August. And boy, let me tell you, red alert,
legendary equipment,
transfer stone inbound, I repeat,
legendary equipment,
transfer stone inbound. Oh yeah, and I guess last update they brought us 3 A's for the mail gunner. Who really cares about that? Because
legendary equipment,
transfer stone inbound. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so since I brought it up, yes, I think this is perhaps one of the most important things of this update, and that is the most legendary of them all event. And the reason that I feel the need to tell you this first is because you need to capitalize on it basically immediately. You will receive this account bound
legendary
chest, and to open it you'll need to collect 10 mysterious keys which are dropped in optimal level dungeons. Opening the chest will give you 4 of these shards and yet another chest, and because you can only farm 10 keys once a day, that means every day counts in this endeavor. You'll need a minimum of 25 days to get the transfer stone, and we've got about 40 or so days to get it done. So don't miss this chance. Another really great event is the legendary
male fighters
legendary event. Ridiculous name, and honestly I'm ashamed I'm even bothering to read it. Now this is kind of complicated to explain, so I'm not really gonna try. Just check it out yourself. But essentially you can rent out a level 100
legendary
for the event period. I suggest a weapon because the purpose of the rental
legendary
is that you can reinforce, refine, and or amplify it to your heart's content. People in just a few days have gotten it to plus 15 reinforcement already guaranteed. Now the ideal strategy is to use this on
female fighters
to farm content that they really aren't ready for, such as 2+2 on expert or the newly changed 10+10, which I'll mention that in a sec. On top of temporarily having a great weapon, you'll also eventually get tickets that can guarantee reinforcement up to plus 12 on your real gear, which is highly recommended since it's a lot of value to be saved. Overall, a great 2-part event and one of the
legendary
that we've had in several months. Speaking of last month, now I skipped last month's update video because of how Resident Sleeper it was in terms of actual content. In fact, lackluster and unmotivating content updates has caused a severe lack of interest of the game for me and others as of late, so Neopol, step it the hell up. But one thing that actually deserves mentioning is that the male fighters got their 3rd awakenings, which I'm sure excited all 5 or 6 of you or something. Now, as you all understand, I am a knight archetype player, so maybe you can understand my disinterest in such an antithetical character like the
male fighters,
and I haven't bothered devoting hardly any resources into any of the
4
until now, that is, because my
striker
is actually starting to get pretty geared, and after giving him a chance, I suppose he's not so bad. Overall, my favorite addition for the
male fighters
is their new level 100 passives. You can see that on classes like
striker,
they definitely improve their low level skills and make them a lot more useful, giving them better damage and utility. Now, I'm a little frustrated that this philosophy doesn't always translate to all of the rest of the 3As that are available in KDNF so far. Now, the best 3As in my opinion are the
striker.
Yeah, sure, but even better than that is the
striker.
This thing is just so epic with this world-busting capacity. But again, it really is just too hard to get hype about any of this. Delete.
Male fighters.
I do want to take a second to complain about their exclusive
Smashdown limit
event. Compare this to the Slayer event where they gave better rewards without nearly as much effort, and it's kind of insulting. Like, as if being a
male fighters
wasn't unpopular enough, they gotta stomp them into the dirt by making the rewards hogtied behind making several alts. And even if you bothered, you don't even get as many useful items as the Slayers. Like, what the hell is their fascination with gifting and
male fighters
swap set? Nobody is going to make a
male fighters
scratch just so that they can earn a goddamn
male fighters
swap set. Give them some endgame gear, dude. Neopol, if the idea is to compel someone to make a character they perhaps might not want to, you have utterly failed in this regard, completing the exact opposite effect. Literal Resident Sleeper. Hopefully, the
female fighters
when they are released are not so shafted in their exclusive event. Anyway, back to the present day updates, we've got a lot of quality of life changes. First of all, the oh-so-dreaded 10+10 got its entry counts reduced by half, and drop rates seem to have been more than doubled. I suppose that everybody who's been crying can now appreciate the less amount of commitment that's necessary daily. Now, that being said,
legendary equipment,
transfer stone inbound, I repeat,
legendary equipment.
2+2 drop chance has increased supposedly, and the challenge mode has also a greater incentive to run because that also arbitrarily increases
legendary
drop chances as well. Another thing that was added was that the bosses of the Ghent Palace, Land of Memories, and Bottomless Tunnel can now also potentially drop
legendary
items from the bosses, which honestly is an amazing quality of life change that coincides with the fact that the level 100 uniques and
legendary
effects now have 2-piece set effects just like the epics. And with that change, it makes it possible to immediately replace these gears with
legendary
as soon as they drop, which will usually result in more damage overall. Obviously some self-testing will be required, but my point still stands. This is a
legendary
change. And speaking on the 100 legendaries, we now have access to Neo legendaries by way of the
already dead content.
The Dark Dimension. Essentially, this area hosts special dungeons that allow you to bring up to 3 of your
female fighters
to help you farm the content. Careful though, this also quadruples your cube count since everyone's gonna be spamming like crazy. The general strategy is to make your 3
female fighters
your main characters, and then you play the
female fighters
geared in level 100
legendary.
Eventually, you'll get enough of these fragments to purchase a single Neo
legendary,
which is designed to buff up the set effect that it's a part of to incredible levels. We're talking it's probably stronger than some of the level 100
legendary
sets. On Friday and the weekend, you get access to the which is gonna act kind of like a world boss in many phone games. You get access to this
already dead content
every even server hour. You'll attempt to clear floors, which get progressively harder as you go up, and the floor clears contribute to a world boss clearance rate that will give us
already dead content
as determined by the update page itself. Anyway, the dungeons themselves are not that hard, and I hear most people get at least the accessories set since it's even stronger than the upgraded level 100
legendary
accessories set. Now there is an event in the Tracks of the Darkness creation event that focuses around this content. Nothing really special to speak on, lots of daily contracts, and you'll get a ton of fragments to get at least one of your Neo
legendary
pretty damn quick. You also get a costume that, while they don't expire, like the godforsaken
already dead content,
it is nonetheless character bound. And Neopol, let me be frank, you're gonna have to explain to me why the hell cosmetic potions like this are character bound instead of account bound. I'll never understand
male fighters.
I'm gonna keep complaining about this nonsense until I get a response out of you, or you just simply change it. There's no freaking reason that an event cosmetic item should expire, and there's also no damn reason that it needs to be character bound either. It's a
already dead content.
Dude, it's like they don't want us to promote the
female fighters
this game has to offer, and it makes 0 sense. Come on. And that, guys, concludes the updates brought to us on the
18th
of August. No, I'm not even going to bring up the
Bingo Blast and Belt Test
event because it's so uninspired. I don't even have enough care to finish this sentence. Now, overall, while I have been disappointed in the
already dead content
or interest in any of the content we've been getting, this is a nice change of pace. In particular, I'm interested in
legendary,
the 5+5, and the fact that
female fighters
3As are just that much closer.
Oh yes, one minor note here.
Legendary equipment.
Transfer stone inbound. I repeat. Here's what I gotta say about that. I'll be throwing in my hat for the YouTube creator, but I just want to say that even if I'm not selected, I'll nonetheless be doing exactly what I've been doing from the very start of this whole thing. Making
already dead content
has been kind of a hobby of mine, and I shouldn't have to say it, but I never really did any of this for rewards or recognition. It's simply been motivated by my love of the
legendary,
honestly. So while I'm not personally a big fan of
male fighters,
since it creates this forced commitment, I do appreciate the fact that
female fighters
that I've seen for the past few years are finally stepping up and fleshing out the community more. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.